Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to A House of Many Doors. I'm noticing here that we are allowed to compete in the tournament again. It clearly hasn't reset us back to the, we didn't load at the autosave that it created when we came in here initially, because we still have the point of Lady Bluesteel's favor, right? But had the option to compete in the tournament disappeared at the end of the last episode? I think it had, right? We were only allowed to compete once? I guess let's do it again, if it's open again. But I'm wondering if there might be an issue with loading the game inside cities that sometimes unlocks some of the options that would otherwise have been locked, because I think we've seen that happen before. So yeah, we'll do the thing again. I do like a test of vigilance. Hey, look at that. We're actually really good at archery for some reason. That's a thing we've learned about our character now. Consistently, ridiculously good at archery. And then we'll try a test of strength. Hey, what a surprise. We failed. And we're going to try dragon jousting again. Okay, exactly the same result. Perhaps I will have better luck next time, but to be perfectly honest with you, I'm pretty happy with the way that went. So now we have a second point of Lady Bluesteel's favor. And yeah, it locks the option. So it does seem like there's a little bit of a bug where if you save in town and then reload the save, it unflags that you finished certain events. We are I'm not going to intentionally abuse it, but I am sometimes going to do basically the thing we just saw here because I'm very forgetful. And when I load up the game, I'm going to do the same thing I did today, which is go, oh, wait a second, did I do that? I don't remember if I did that before I saved. Alright, I will accept no significant gifts. We're saving up. I need that money. So, I'm assuming Preach the World of Angle Crab. Yeah, it's going to be the same. There's a possibility, right, that it was based on a die roll, and so it might have worked this time. But I think with that, we are cool to go. So there's no sale. There's no words. There's no words for how much fuel is not on sale here. So I guess we gotta go. And we need to think for a second about what exactly our plan is. My idea that we would run all the way out to Athena is maybe foolish, maybe very foolish. With only 6 fuel, do I think we can make it to there and then back to... Oh, that's not even the City of Keys. You gotta go all the way up here. Well, I guess we don't really, though. We'd only have to make it back to the City of Masks to be able to buy fuel, right? They have fuel there. And Athena's so far away from everything, I wonder... it almost must be the case that they sell fuel there. Also, what happens if you run out of fuel? I mean, it could just kill you. It could just be and then you starved to death in the dark, because the game will let you just load a save. It's a little bit unlike the Sunless Games in that way. But I'm kind of curious. We're gonna go for it, and if it works out really poorly and we die, at least we'll know exactly what it is that happens. Do not go south. You will only catch the disease and spread it wherever you go. Alright, House of Many Doors, it's getting a little real. So we're just going to head straight east from here. But first, Banjo immediately noticed that we found that Caloram rum. So yeah, let's do it. Oh, this is my favorite back when my taste buds worked, says Banjo. I don't remember what voice I used for Banjo before, so we're just gonna do a new one. Thanks, kid, says Banjo, twisting off the bottle's cap. Rum spills from the holes in his throat. I think it's story time. Yeah, sounds good to me. I love a story. Banjo pats you on the shoulder. Good answer, he says. Never turn down a story. That is a good real-life rule, actually. Now, there's one question a ghoul is always going to get, sooner or later, especially from the living. It's unavoidable. How did you die? Everyone knows that dying of old age ain't going to make you a ghoul, so all ghouls have a story. I do feel a little bad. I fell right into the stereotype. I totally wasn't going to ask you that. Oh, it's sweet of you to lie just to preserve my feelings, but I know what you alivers are like, says Banjo. Now, we're just a big walking question mark to you. I died of betrayal, he says. I'm sorry to perpetuate this stereotype, but con artists are an untrustworthy lot, and working with them just means you end up getting, riddled with bullets and dumped in a river, just, off the top of my head. He sighs. Blindly obvious in retrospect, right? A big heist, a ton of money which we planned to split, then someone killed me for my share. I mean, that's a story that played out 100 times before, Yet it still took me by surprise. I thought we were different. So, what made you think your gang were different? Why would you believe such a thing? I suppose I was just a trusting sort, he says with a beatific expression. Too good for this world. Yeah, that's the impression I immediately get upon looking at you. So they just dumped you in a river. Banjo grins. I'm sure they would have been surprised to see me wake up and swim to shore. So you were shot to death. Still have the holes, Banjo winks obscenely. So it's like that's a really weird thing to say, right? For us to say, so you were shot to death. Especially, we talked a little bit before about how it seems like these conversations are really built so that you should click the top option all the time, and I'm still not going to do it. That's my personal little protest. But if you were to process the options in relatively in order there, it's super weird to say, so you were shot to death, especially after and then they threw you in the river, right? Like, those options don't... Okay, whatever. So, tell me about the heist. This is the thing I'm really interested in. Nope, says Banjo. Story time's over, I'm afraid. I've told you about my murder, and the heist ceased to be relevant 40 years ago, right when someone decided that I didn't have enough lead in my skull for their tastes. I do have a proposal for you, though, he says. I need your help with a related matter. Come back when you're ready for another story time. Is that when he says come back, more rum. Well, I mean, let's just go back inside and buy more rum, right? Also, you know what? Actually, we're also going to spend some apprehensions on him. I like him a lot as a crew member. I'm probably going to try to keep him around, so let's buff his stats. You're sure that Banjo has been breaking into your room and very subtly rearranging your furniture, so we will wage quiet war with him. Banjo's lock is difficult to pick, but you persevere. His quarters are surprisingly neat for someone who makes such effort to appear laid back. You nudge his chair 2 inches away from his table. Victory is surely within your grasp. When you return to your own quarters, you find that your desk has been moved 2/5 of an inch to the left. War is hell. I really like this plotline. This is a fun, goofy little plotline. I'm going to do it again. Okay, so it's not like a plot or anything. We can just continue to spend upgrading his stats. So what's he giving? He's giving us 12 guile right now. That's pretty good, right? That's a good number of guile. All right. Hey, SB, aren't you desperate for fuel? Shouldn't you be, like, very wary of wasting time? Yeah, I guess. But here's the other thing. Shut up. Stop being so right about things. It's impolite. Banjo, I brought you more rum. So the point of the story that he just told us is that you can't trust the kind of person that Banjo Smigs is, right? Helping him with a related matter is going to lead to a backstabbing. Maybe he's going to shoot me in the head and throw me in a river. And I guess the question we have to decide from an in-character perspective is, first of all, is our character smart enough to realize the thing that I have realized? And secondly, does our character realize it, but go along anyway? Either with the intention of betraying Banjo, or with the intention of sort of displaying vulnerability to Banjo to give Banjo the opportunity to be different than the people who killed him. I think we're kind of in the latter place, right? That feels a little bit like I know we're like sorta kinda not a priest anymore, but that feels like the thing to do, like to give a man a chance to seek his own redemption. So that's my justification for the plot that we're following now. Banjo tears off the rum bottle's cap with his crooked teeth. All things considered, I had an ignominious end. You haven't had a bad day, kid, until you've woken up face down dead in a river of poison. I kinda didn't read that right. I've tried to just get on with my post-life existence since then, but I found myself wondering about them, those friends who had me killed. We were close. Maybe I'm going through a mid-death crisis, I don't know. But I want to meet them again. Not for violence, just to see how they're doing. Maybe ask why. Well, what's in it for me feels like an out-of-character question. You know what? I will help you, Banjo. I'm not even... again, like, both of these don't really feel right. And it's not to say that our character is, like, self-sacrificing and stuff, but I think within the train, it's hard for us to justify going, hey, you gotta cut me in or I'm not gonna help you, right? Banjo claps your shoulder. I don't think that helping me is gonna be purely charity on your part, mate. See, we were very careful, he says. We knew betrayal was a possibility, and we took steps to prevent it. We sent a golem to hide the cache for us, and each of us gave it a direction and a number of rooms to travel from the City of Knives. None of us knew what the others had whispered in that golem's ear. If we find them, we can get the directions out of them and finally get to that 40-year-old treasure. I wonder if you actually had chosen the other options before picking I wonder if it would have, if this would have unfolded differently. This is starting to feel a little bit like the rat engineering crew from Sunless Skies. So, where do we need to go? Back to where I died, City of Knives. We're gonna report a murder. Okay, I can do that. We will definitely do that. We gained a reflection on mortality. Pretty much any time you talk to Banjo, you're gonna do a little bit of reflecting on mortality. Also, part of me kind of wants to flirt with him. Maybe what we've learned about our character is they're really into ghouls, right? And honestly, I do find Banjo to be pretty entertaining. Oh, big beetle. Check out that huge beetle. Check out that huge beetle that's not interested in us. Let's talk to it. Howdy. These are escaped thralls. Some thralls have commandeered a giant beetle from their captors and ridden it into the dark. The beetle's shell is scarred and pockmarked from past close encounters, as are the ex-thralls themselves, so probably quite easy to take them down in combat is my guess. But I cannot bring myself to arm the mortar. Maybe trying to be a good person out here is just a real good way to get yourself killed. I guess search for a drink. We're doing pretty well on resources right now. We got some blinding hooch. You find a dust-caked bottle still lying miraculously untouched beneath a table. Well, it's something. Yeah, we could sell that. Oh, right. Carrying capacity. I forgot. We were, like, right up on the edge of that. I gotta sell things. You know what we probably don't need is so many old bones, although old bones are at least useful for the museum. Lumber's quite heavy. I'm just gonna... The blinding hooch is not any good. We don't need this. It's the cheap alcohol. You know, all a man's really after is stories, and all of a sudden he's just got all the riches in the world being thrust upon him. Can you imagine a greater hardship? An abandoned cottage. Let's look inside. Oh good, a deactivated golem that I'm probably just gonna throw out. Again, just on the lookout for stories. You know, I kind of forgot that when I hit that button, we're not throwing the thing out into the darkness, we're throwing it into the engine. Right, it's generating fuel. So that's a way that we can maintain enough fuel to get the job done here. We can just burn a bunch of our cargo. I bet that lumber actually burns really well. Although, is the canopine steam powered? I mean, you can make steam from a wood fire. I don't actually know how a steam engine works. I know that, like, usually the cultural image is guys shoveling coal into an oven in a train, right? So I'm just thinking, like, hey, wood doesn't burn the same as coal does, but now I'm realizing as I say it out loud, like, it's just any fire is good enough, right? Obviously, coal is a little bit better because it burns longer, I think. Consume a piece of wood pretty quickly. A ruined pub. Search for a drink. Boy, you always find stuff when you're not really looking for stuff. So what do we want to drop here? The salt is actually really useful to us, so Is it trout? Am I throwing away this 2-pound fish? I mean, it's not a pound, right? I don't know exactly what it is that we're measuring this in, but it's definitely not a pound. These are not 4-pound golems. And we gotta drop 3 pounds? 2 pounds. I will get rid of... geez. An embalmed corpse. How many does one really need? Okay, getting rid of that did not move the fuel. I feel like sometimes we get rid of a thing and it moves the fuel bar, I think. Boy, how far away are we? Criminy. Well, okay, we have stuff we can burn. We will get through this. Also, sometimes you just encounter lumber out here. So hopefully we will encounter more. Maybe we'll run into a big tree that's made of coal. Or ghost rock, you know. This does not strike me as the kind of place where you would definitely never see ghost rock. Uh-oh, spooky spider. It's trying to cut us off at the pass. Look at that. It's much smarter than most spiders. Actually, it doesn't care about me at all. So we could maybe have interacted with it and traded maps with the crew of that spider. Alright, let's go interact with this tree, and if we get lumber from it, I'm gonna burn the lumber immediately. Okay, we're also gonna get in combat though. Immediately open up the cargo thing. Okay, so there is a burn option on things that can be burned. I'm going to close the cargo and hit the gas immediately, and hopefully it'll be enough. It was not enough. Presumably mercenaries. A featureless black flag streams from the Scorpiopede's tail. You suspect this is some mercenary crew or other, passing the time between contracts with a little light banditry. The gun in the Scorpiopede's tail flashes and smokes, and a second later a warning salvo bursts bright overhead. 300 guineas, you hear through the radio. Well, obviously not. Flee! Alright, I'm extremely good at fleeing. To be perfectly honest, a Scorpiopede might totally be an enemy that we could take on. It said gun, singular, so, you know. And we did successfully fight a Scorpiopede before, didn't we? It was just, we took a lot of damage. But at the time, we only had 1 or maybe 2 guns, so... I don't know, we probably could just handle one. Alright, so it looks to me like we're still 1 row too far north. Let's head south one more time. Even though we have been told that the south is an ominous place. And we're back in an area that has walls, much more like where we began. Let's enter this cottage. We found a deactivated golem. Cool. Can I throw the golem in the... Nope. Cannot throw the golem in the engine. Well, do I want to just burn the lumber then? Yeah, I'm going to do that. It's a full bar of fuel, so it is awfully nice. I know that it says lumber is valuable, but I'm still worried about our fuel. Plus, the lumber is very heavy. Alright, what have we discovered? A rough stone tablet. Sure. I'll take a cryptoglyphic tablet. Well, wait, really? How heavy was the... 49. Oh, right, because we picked up a golem and then burned wood, so we actually only went down 1 weight. Well... Which of our many kinds of books is the least interesting? Or is it... Is it old bones, maybe? I'm gonna drop some old bones. We probably don't need 4 sets of old bones. And hopefully we will be able to both purchase fuel and sell some things of interest over here at Athena? Athena is the name of the thing, I think? Well, I wonder exactly how big the house is. Like, if you just pick a direction and drive, how many rooms can you get through? And I wonder how they limit it. Oh, a crashed helicopter. That's new. And a little unsettling, frankly, to see a thing that's, like, normal-ish here. The crumpled shell of some otherworldly vehicle. It looks a little like the gyropters in the City of Engines, so of course peer inside. Something gleams in the cockpit. Flecks of rust spiral into the darkness as you pull the twisted door from its hinges. Inside the cockpit you find gnawed bones in a tattered flight suit. Crouching over them is a hideous creature, feathered and tentacled with the head of a predatory horse. That is the worst kind of horse. It is starved almost to death. Loose skin hangs over jutting ribs. Perhaps this was a pet, or perhaps this is what killed the pilot. Either way, it's too weak to resist you as you order it brought aboard the kinetopede. So, we are definitely going to have to lose some weight here, but I think the thing we found is potentially really valuable, right? So how do we want to drop 8 pounds? Honestly, it might just be golems. I'm going to drop 2 golems. We don't even know if they're valuable, but we do know where to go to get more if we decide we need more. Because they're just exceedingly common out in the everywhere. God-damned bats. Imagine. Like, this is the power of art, right? To make me cross with bats, who are such wonderful, adorable creatures in real life. Terrifying, and often quite ugly, but wonderful and adorable. And if you're one of these people who has been convinced by the media campaign against bats, I urge you, just go to YouTube. You're there already. This is a very short step. Go to YouTube and just look for some videos of flying foxes. A dilapidated church. Do we want this? I'm going to leave this rough stone tablet alone, because I think I would just throw it out if I grabbed it. And we're almost there. We still have some fuel left. Gosh, I hope we can buy fuel at this city. Gosh, I hope this is a real city and not just one of these things where it's like a single interaction option and then you leave. Alright, we finally made it to Athena. Was this a good idea? I think we're going to find out pretty soon. A spindly town of boiled black sugar, brittle towers swaying gently in the underdoor draft. The entire cough-sweet stinking place sits above a lake of liquid licorice, so still and dark and pure it could be a mirror. Gross, actually. I am grossed out by this. The affinities will speak to you in exchange for a drop of your blood on their tongue. 5 sanity's not a lot, right? I guess I'm realizing I didn't actually know for sure if this bar was out of 100, but based on the amount that just went down there, I think it probably is. Gangs of occultists stalk the streets. More bodies found floating. One of the black towers has cracked right down the middle and threatens to fall. In all things, defer to the hooded ones. Let's quickly search for the prince's heart. When you ask about the heart, the faces of the citizens go carefully blank. One of them tells you to ask the hooded merchants in Aniseed Passage before hurrying away. Aniseed Passage is a twisting tunnel beneath the town, lined with sweating statues carved from boiled black sugar, their shapes growing vaguer and more monstrous as they melt. A dozen hooded merchants sit cross-legged along the wall, their odd wares laid out on blankets before them. Jars of pickled skin, bats strangled by wire, candles with pulsating tumors. The heart came to learn from us just a few weeks ago, says one of the hooded ones before you can ask a question. He paid in secrets, and we taught him well, but he is here no more. Well, where did he go? We know where he went, says the hooded merchant, but nothing is free. Provide us with 3 irreplaceable objects, or a single sacrifice for the lake. Well, I don't have any occult relics, and if I did have an occult relic, I wouldn't give it to them. Boy. Well, I think it would be out of character for our character to offer crew. I think that's pretty fucked up, to put it gently. A prisoner... The thing is, we don't have any idea how to get occult relics. Waiting until we have 3 occult relics might be, that might kill this plot for us, right? And I am curious. If anything, our character is driven by his occult curiosity. Maybe to do things he would not otherwise do. I still think crew is too far, but I think that maybe that could justify the use of a prisoner. Especially if this is a prisoner that we take because they were trying to kill us. I think that is probably just on the close side of that particular line. The hooded one laughs like rustling paper as we walk away. Never mind, says the hooded one. I know you will return. The warped statues seem to watch you as you walk away. Yeah, we'll, maybe. We can attempt to rest and recover. It seems unlikely to work, and also it will cost us 25 guineas to even attempt it. I think we'll probably just not. The lake stirs. Silence. As you watch ripples spread across the lake, a hooded head emerges near the bank. Then another and another. A dozen hooded ones come marching out of the molten licorice, each holding a swaying lantern. You call out, but they ignore you. They march past without turning their heads. For days after, you are tormented by nightmares, where something colossal and black and ill-defined follows them out onto the shore. There is something wrong with Athena. It seems like a not all that pleasant place. Preach the word of Anglo Crab, right? We gotta try. You ask the crowd if they're bored of being forced to exist in only 4 dimensions, circles, etc. The silence weighs heavily. No one comes to listen, though you think you feel hidden eyes boring into you when you finally give up. When you return to the kinetopede, you find it covered in tar and graffiti, An evil-looking stone idol has been placed on your bed. You have no idea how it got there. I mean, probably it was, whoever covered the kinetipede with tar and graffiti, right? That's not that mysterious. Someone somewhere else will accept your god, probably. I'm gonna smash that bizarre effigy. How dare you? It is an offense to the sanctioned gods I grew up with, like sweet, sweet angle crab. The unsettling face of the statuette twists and buckles under each hammer blow. Each strike seems only to further contort its expression with anger and fright. Finally, the damned thing shatters into splinters of stone, one of them taking a deep slice out of you. The wound bleeds for a long time and heals slower than you might expect. So I am once again maimed, just spend my whole life maimed, but we did gain some sanity and the divine scrutiny of cobblestone. The god that effigy depicted is probably long dead. The idol was its last splinter of will. So I wonder, I'm going to shatter our other bizarre effigy. Okay, different. The unsettling face of the statuette twists, you swear, a second before the hammer hits it. The stone cracks neatly at once, and some darting shadow leaps from its innards. You make an instinctive grab at its flickering form, but it slips through your hand like silk. That sliver of darkness, so quick, so nimble, is gone, but you know it lurks on your kinetipede still, waiting, and it leaves you a seeping blister on your palm. Remaimed. Maybe maimed is as bad as we can get from an event. Lost some sanity, disquieting vision, incident, haunting vision. It does not watch you in your sleep. Surely not. Okay, mostly what I was trying to do there, what I thought might happen, is that we would get kind of the same text, but potentially a point of divine scrutiny from just like a random one of the sanctioned gods. So I was testing whether that's what it would do. We ended up getting a very different result than I was expecting. And then we are going to... we're totally going to do this, but not right now. We'll do this when we're back in a place where it's easier to restore sanity. Alright, in the Aniseed Passage, we cannot buy fuel. We can buy warding iron, but I don't have the money right now. So, we do have glimpses of another world. They sell for more in other places, though. When we sell them to information merchants, they give us 160, so I think I'm going to hold off. And we're just out of luck on the, we are out of luck on the fuel. Okay, well, let's throw up a quick save and then bail out of here. So have we detected any new stuff? We have not. What is this? This is the Scars of Sheng. It's Founder's Fire. So we probably just want to try to get back to this. Yeah, I guess so. We're definitely going to have to burn something we find on the way. Or burn something that's already in our inventory. Alright, north. You will travel far and find all the doors are locked. God, I hope not. East would take us to the Empire of Thread. And south, a huge Mycena-like creature lurks, apparently at the center of an enormous forest. Yo, that's fascinating. We should probably go northwest and get our, get paid for all the stories, all the information we can bring back, and then we'll travel out here again. We'll find the time. So unfortunately, it's a long, long way, and it's certainly much longer than we can afford to travel. But we might have some burnables. I don't know exactly what in our inventory might be burnable. We definitely gotta take a pretty optimal route here, though. No time to veer off. So we'll just continue going northwest like this for a bit. I see the red glow down there, but I dare not. We can try to grab encounters that are on the route, but I don't want to go off to the side. A collapsed library. Can we find a book? Mang Zub Mang, your gunner, finds an ancient grimoire. Cool. Well done, sir. And that is not the crew member who seemed to be the significant one last episode, right? Maybe I should have spoken to that gigantopede, because it didn't look like it was coming for us. Oh, I went over again. Just barely, too. Let's drop... We don't want to drop the Necrosia. It's probably this obscene booklet, honestly. It's a booklet! Throw it in the oven! Apparently I'm not allowed to do that. I know it wouldn't give us much fuel, but it's definitely combustible. I wonder if our weight affects our fuel efficiency at all. That would be very, very easy to implement, so I bet it does. Oh, now that's interesting. Where exactly am I? Huh. Alright. We're going to just go straight west a couple of times here. And my intention with that is to make it easy for us to find that spot again. Okay, I was hoping that they would offer to trade with us. Interesting. Apparently it's not just the one room. I mean, it did say you will go north and find all the doors locked. Alright, let's go north here. I'm kind of curious if in this room we'll find that the eastern door is locked. I don't want to veer off enough to go look, unfortunately. An abandoned cottage. What's inside? It's a guy. Persuade him to join. He can be a junior engineer. You can never have enough junior engineers. Must you, though? Hopefully we'll get home without having to throw anyone in the engine. Distressed merchants. Oh, man. A kinetopede much like your own lurches up alongside you. A desperate-looking man climbs from the hatch and waves. He's a merchant, and his train was hit by bandits. They took all his goods and all his money, but more importantly, they took most of his fuel. We're down to just a few handfuls of coal, he explains. Not enough to get us home, even if we turned off our heart light. Please, help us. Oh, does turning off your heart light make you more fuel efficient? I don't think I realized that. I'm sorry, dog. I do not have fuel to spare. The man pales. He pushes his plate away. I see, he says finally. I see. He leaves without another word, ignoring you as you wish him the best of luck. As you start to pull away, the other kinetopede's engines start up. It follows alongside you for a few dozen yards, and then it levels its artillery and opens fire. It seems the merchants have enough fuel left for one final desperate grasp for survival. So here's the thing. I think that we probably could take these guys. I'm going to do this. Yeah, okay, we retreat into shadows. I might try running with the heartlight off for a bit. If that does indeed affect your fuel efficiency, might be worth doing. Jesus Christ, we're so far away from where we're going. I mean, like, I know it's also affecting our sanity. It does. It looks like it probably does affect your fuel efficiency. I think we're burning slower than we were before. I know there's a lot of other dangers associated with this, but we probably can't leave it off for too long. Alright, let's kick it back on for a bit. We're definitely seeing some real spooky things in the scope there. Oh no. Okay, I didn't really do that in a way that was avoidable. I am not offering them money. We're going to attempt to flee. And I guess my light's off for a while again. We're gonna make it back if we make it back. We're gonna make it back in a pretty rough shape here. You know, just spooky bone things out walking. Listen, spooky bone things gotta get their exercise too. Everybody needs cardio. Okay, we're close. I mean, do I want to just go to the Old Hallow? The Old Hallow didn't have... Maybe it had fuel. Let's just go... We have to go this number of tiles anyway. We may as well just go west until we hit Old Hallow. You can't actually travel diagonally here. Alright, the engine churns and grinds uselessly. Dr. Delgado recommends you find something in the cargo hold to burn, or else you're stuck out here in the encroaching dark. If you have nothing to burn, well, you doubt you'll last more than a week before the darkness squirms in and strips you to the bones. Let's see what can burn. Probably not a mirror. We could use the mirror, I suppose. We could have used the mirror long ago. I kind of forgot about it. Dragon spice will burn. Guaranteed not to cause spontaneous combustion unless consumed in amounts greater than a teaspoon or near kindling or on grave days. Should I throw that in the oven? I don't know. We could burn the hazard coffee. let's do so. Oh, that's a whole bar of fuel. Lovely. And I can't close the thing. Get going. I had feared the worst. Thanks God. What? Okay. What do you mean out of fuel? I just... burn this. Okay, get going. It's just instantly removing all my fuel? I think this might be bugged. Can I use my fetch mirror? It says allows you to instantly travel between large cities that you've already, but it doesn't... How would I do it, though? It looks like it doesn't allow me to instantly travel. We can only do it from cities, I guess. Alright, one other thing we can try is this might be bugged to break if you only have a little bit of fuel. Like maybe the play is you have to burn multiple items. We don't have anything else to burn, so I guess we're waiting in the dark. There, approaching you. The good, honest glow of a heartlight. A kinetopede. Your crew are weeping. It's piloted by a merchant and his guards, who look down at you with grimacing sympathy. We barely have enough fuel to get home ourselves, says the merchant apologetically. I'm sorry, we have none to spare. No, I get it, that's fine. It is how it is. He is very apologetic. Before he left, he offered you a pained smile, as though to say, maybe one day you'll laugh about this. But you won't. Something finally lights up the darkness. You had almost forgotten what light was like. It is a cathedral tank, bleak and formidable, a purple glow filtering through its stained glass windows, and you are in no condition to fight. It rumbles past, not noticing you in the darkness. If they find you, of course, they will strip your kinetopede for parts and take you as slaves. Well, then I'm gonna wait in the dark, then. That seems bad. It is piloted by a merchant and his guards. They don't have fuel. Wait in the dark. Sanity. Smiling. You know, the thing is, I'm so happy. Everything's going fine. Oh, I like this effect on the text when your sanity gets really low. After hours of waiting, a sudden flare of hope. A heartlight in the far distance. They cannot see you sitting here in the dark, but if you had some sort of signal... Oh, I don't. I don't have gunpowder, I don't have flares. That's fine, I don't need sanity. Who needs sanity? An occasional sob, a screech of bats above. Other than that, silence. The darkness has squeezed all conversation from the world. The hull creaks, and then splits with an ear-splitting moan. Darkness comes rushing in, clawing and hungry. You will die. Just another lost soul. You thought there would be more. Oh, that's it then. And then the game crashed. That's pretty good. Okay. Abort. Thank you. That's an ending. I think, you know what? They wanted it to end so badly here in the dark. Let's let it end here in the dark. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time on Monday, the way we're going to handle that is we're going to load up back at Blue Steel's place, and we're just going to head north from there, because I think if we load the save that we made in Athena, there's no way for us to make it back. We'd have to get really lucky and encounter some fuel. So we'll just have to go back and figure out the Athena stuff some other time. Sometime when we've returned and brought supplies and stuff. So, thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, when you come back next time, we'll just pick it up back at Blue Steel's and then head home. And we'll see you then.